everyone, and welcome to our YouTube channel, Moneyline with Nancy at TV. In case you're not a subscriber yet, please do subscribe. Just press the subscribe button as well as turn on the notification bell so that you can get notifications when we upload our videos. Don't also forget to subscribe and join, follow, like our other social media platforms. Of course, you're seeing it right about now. Don't also forget to share this video across your platforms. Enjoy the video. All right, welcome back to the program. My guest is joining me right now. He's Mike Feerick. He's the CEO and founder and CEO of Alison. Good morning, Mike, and thank you for joining us.
Hi, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you.
Great.
Good to have you this morning. Of course, we've shown our viewers, you believe in the power of learning and the ability to and its ability to change lives. So let me begin by asking you this question from your experience in building a global online learning platform. What innovative strategies do you think really that we can adopt in Nigeria to ensure that we acquire relevant as well as job-ready skills from your experience?
Okay, well, thanks for the question. I think the key thing really is the fact that you have to utilize free learning. So Alison, so that you can learn anything, anytime, anywhere, at any level. So Alison started off nearly 20 years ago, and we now have 50 million users around the world. But more importantly, we have 10 million graduates. And Nigeria is an important country to us because we have over 3.5 million registered users in Nigeria. And we have, just in recent weeks, reached 1 million graduates in Nigeria alone. So free learning on Alison is extremely popular in Nigeria. And it's delightful to be here. And I guess when we think about it, so Nigeria would be probably our fourth biggest country worldwide. After the United States would be the biggest, India, the UK, and then Nigeria and South Africa. Now, why is Alison so popular in Nigeria? Nigerians love free, that's for sure. And also they like learning for the sake of learning. And that's something that we've seen around the world, whereby some people actually learn to get the certificate, but in Nigeria, people will start learning and get curious. They do one course, they do another, and then they do another. And because the learning is free, they can continue doing that. So if you compare that, particularly on a money program like your own, if you were paying for every course that you do, sometimes you go into a course and you feel that, okay, I may have made a mistake. This is not the course for me. But actually, if the course is free, you could stop doing what you're doing, choose another course, and continue along the lines of where your curiosity leads you. Because if you really like the subject you study and you love the topic, the likelihood is that you will do a good job around that expertise. Okay. So to answer your question, I think that the understanding and accepting and engaging with free learning allows you to learn so much more than one might do in a conventional, traditional way, where you pay for all of your learning.
Yeah, and that brings me to my next question, which is, can education really be totally free? Because it seems that online education, online learning seems to be, let me put it this way, freer than traditional learning systems. So how can we learn from the online? How can the traditional systems, let me put it that way, learn from the online learning systems, to be able to get a lot more people involved? Even Nigeria, of course, a lot of schools have gone online and all of that, but you still see that there's a huge market. Yes, there's a huge market for the online learning systems. Yes. And if education can be totally free, I hope you got that part of my question.
Yes, no, I'm sorry about that. I'm in a hotel and a very enthusiastic housekeeper. But no, I think it's an interesting thing. So we've talked about individual learning, but companies need to learn, get their employees to learn too. And we recognize that. So I'm not sure if your viewers would be aware of what a learning management system is. But again, we have created a free learning management system on Alison so that any company can go on, create its own account so that it can assign courses to its employees. And in fact, we've been just speaking with the government in recent days and suggesting to them that any company over a certain size within Nigeria should have a learning and development strategy, and that any company of size in Nigeria should have a responsibility to upskill and train its employees. Because if the country of Nigeria does that at scale, then it would be extraordinarily competitive on a global level. And Nigeria has a lot of things going for it as it is. It has a young, vibrant, smart, tech-savvy population. And Nigerian companies can compete at the highest levels globally. And Nigeria doesn't have to be a country that does work for other companies from abroad. It can create its own entities. It can create its online platforms. It has the capability to do that. So in that way, I like my passion and my interest is seeing the likes of Nigeria taking its future into its own hands. And the number one thing that will change Nigeria very positively is engaging with learning and online learning in a lifelong way, so that continuous learning is part of everyone's daily life. And if it does that, then Nigeria can reach the heights of its importance around the world. It already has scale. It is a large country, biggest population in Africa. I think that the world is going to be noticing Nigeria more and more around the world, but particularly if it engages upskilling and education at every level.
So the next question to you would be really, how can online learning platforms collaborate with industry leaders, especially to build trust? To build trust around increased recognition of online, acquired
Okay.
skills. Because for some people,
Yeah.
if like, okay, I did this online, okay, if you didn't go to a four-wall school, for example, that is not recognized, even though the
Okay.
world is changing.
Well, you said it. The world is changing. So uh, we need to recognize that only 8% of people in the world have ever gone to college. College, in a traditional way, is actually a form of elitism. It provides education only to a very small percentage of people. It's too expensive, it teaches too little, and it takes too long. Whereas the way that people are learning today is that they go on YouTube or TikTok or Alison and they learn things fairly quickly. And one thing I've been speaking about at a conference here this week and in other forums is that the way of assessing people is moving away from certificates, because with the use of AI and with the use of technology, you can actually examine what somebody knows here and now. Literally, somebody comes in and tries to get a job. You can sit them down online. You can give them tests on all of the things that you want them to know. And also you can give them psychometric tests. And that is something that's very important on the Alison platform, is that you can do a free workforce personality test to see what type of work would suit you best. And again, going back to what I said earlier, if you really like what you do and you have an aptitude for it, then you're going to do it better. You can go onto the Alison platform and do a numeracy test, verbal reasoning, abstract reasoning. You need to know what your own strengths are. And these tools are available for free. But going back to your point about the companies, more and more people are accepting that informal learning is as important, if not more important, than formal. Because you may have a degree, but as time goes on, if you did a degree 5 years ago, 10 years ago, what does it matter? The world of work is changing so quickly that any of us who did a degree 5 and 10 years ago, it's not applicable to today, because there's new technology, there's new types of jobs. I'm sure you know, the types of jobs that people are doing are changing all of the times. There are new careers happening all the time. So traditional learning and having pieces of paper to say that once upon a time you knew something, it's becoming increasingly irrelevant. What employers want to know is what you know how to do the day that they're hired, not what you used to know 5, 10 years ago.
Exactly.
So expect to see that as a big change. And even though the systems to accommodate that are not complete as yet online, that I promise you, is where the whole education area is going. So building up certificates informal on Alison and other platforms like Alison is a very good and
You are
smart
the
thing to do.
founder, of
Build up your
course.
skills. Sorry?
You are the founder of Alison, so
Well, I'm going to say that, but I mean it genuinely in the sense whether you study on Alison or not.
I know.
It's really more important that you learn and you really know your stuff rather than telling somebody else that you know. Because if you know the stuff that you set out to learn, you get more confident, you have better self-esteem, and you are more capable. So it's more important that you impress yourself, not somebody else, and that you're comfortable with your own skill level. And if you're not comfortable with your own skill level, then do something about it. Go online to a platform and start learning. Find something that you like. Learning is engaging, and it draws you in. When some on Alison, when people do one course, they're almost certainly going to do a second over time, because you get to like the fact that you can learn and you can keep on learning for free as you go.
Okay. And let me ask you this final question, what you're just saying now, because many Nigerian employers are complaining of their employees not being up to par, as it were, in terms of critical skills like communication, critical thinking, problem solving. For many of us
Yes.
that are employers, you know, when you even employ people, you get a lot of people that tell you, okay, I'll learn on the job, I'll learn on the job. And sometimes you take months and even years to teach them. At the end of the day, some, of course, when they acquire, they don't even stay with the company enough to be able to, give back those skills. Or the employer becomes frustrated and go hire someone else. And it's really becoming a vicious cycle. What kind of advice will you give as the founder of an online learning platform? What kind of advice will you give employers to be able to bridge this gap? Not just even employers, even employees themselves, to bridge this gap and make workers more employable. Because since the world is digital, but let's also not forget that there are a lot of people that are digitally excluded.
Yes. Okay, well, I have some good examples for you. I can't name the companies, but I can tell you that there are a number of Nigerian companies, and how they engage with that problem is that they set up an LMS, a learning management system, on the Alison platform for their own company. And before
Does
they
that come
hire
for
people,
free?
yes,
Okay,
yeah, they can do that. Okay,
okay,
so what they do is they set that up, and before when they've hired somebody, but they're not on site and they're not on payroll, they say, we will give you a job, but before you step into our workplace, you have to go on to Alison and you have to do 9 to 10 courses, and it's called pre-boarding. Um, and what it means is that before you enter the workforce, you do basic IT literacy, you do basic HR, you do basic project management, you do all of the basics of what it is like to work in a business, so that you understand the different roles within every business. While different businesses may be very different in the product that they offer, how they are run is very, very similar. They have finance, they have HR, they
yeah,
have project management.
admin, all those
Okay.
stuff, yeah.
So a lot of companies, what they do before they start paying people and before they take a financial risk on possibly not hiring the right people, is that they make sure that they have these skills. So then when these people have the courses completed, that companies want them to have completed, and they have, of course, they have to do the assessments, so they have to prove that they know the stuff, right? When they have that done, then they become eligible to enter the workforce. So that's just one strategy that a number of Nigerian companies are doing. It's saying, why should we take a risk on when we don't really know what these people know? But actually, through the learning management system, you don't have to take that risk. You can give them the courses, you can make sure that they do them before they come in, and then you're in a better place. And some people will
How
fall
long
off
does
during
that
that
take?
period of
How
time.
long does that take?
Oh, it can, Alison courses are quite short. So it's usually on an onboarding process. It's something like 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay,
But it's a great way of figuring out who has the discipline. If somebody wants to work with your company and wants to work with you, then it's not a hard ask from an employer to tell the prospect employee to say, you can come on board, but you have to prove to us that you know basic skill sets that you will be needing. So this
okay,
is just one strategy of many that you can use to make sure that when people are hired, that they have the requisite skills to
okay.
actually continue in your company.
Okay, I think, Mike, I think we'll leave it at that. We can chat again sometime soon. Thank you very much. At least we have
No,
a...
thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. You're
Take care.
welcome. All right.
Bye now.
I've been speaking with Mike Feerick. He's the founder and chief executive officer at Alison, a global learning platform. Thank you for making it up to this minute watching the video. Thank you all. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Moneyline with Nancy TV. Like, follow all our other social media platforms where we keep you up to speed with fantastic interviews, as well as markets, personal finance, business, and economy information. This is the best place to be. I'll see you all again in the next video.